The first chakra in the fifth dimension. The concept of safety doesn't exist in the fifth dimension because there is nothing that is unsafe. There are no survival needs because your physical body doesn't hold fear of death or threat. Death is just another chapter in our adventure as a spirit. In the higher dimensions, the first chakra's purpose is well-being. And well-being is of healthiness, happiness, comfort, security, safety, protection, prosperity, profit, good fortune, success, advantage, interest, welfare. This level of well-being keeps us physically, emotionally, and mentally balanced and in alignment. In the fifth dimension, the ego is likewise better balanced. It doesn't compete or push and shove. Instead, it is like a wise mentor who points you in new, expansive directions. The ego's purpose is to give you little challenges along your path so you may better refine your abilities and perspectives in order to grow and evolve yourself. Its job is to help you step up to higher and finer platforms and become who you came here to be. When the first chakra is functioning in survival, the second chakra experiences dense, heavy emotions such as rage, resentment, jealousy, guilt, and blame. However, when the first chakra is functioning in well-being, the second chakra has a different job, creation. In the higher dimensions, the second chakra is a creative energy center. This is where the inspiration and well-being that is thought in the first chakra expands into passion and begins to come into fruition. In the fifth dimension, this chakra contains the creative passion that empowers your desires and intentions. The third chakra in the fifth dimension. In the fifth dimension, the third chakra has the freedom and room to express itself instead of being dominated by power, control, judgment, and resistance. The third chakra provides the fuel and ignition for the second chakra's desires to manifest. Competition is replaced by cooperation, and limitless potential is available. With daily practice, big changes occur in your lower three chakras. Your first chakra begins to vibrate in well-being. As this energy moves into the second chakra, it activates a state of passion and creative expression. This then moves into the third chakra, where it propels the creative energy of well-being into the heart to further engage with the non-physical consciousness being drawn from the third, therefore manifesting the creative experience you intend. Being in alignment with all three chakras offers us the possibility to align, becoming one with the unified field and all that is. This allows you the ability to create in alignment with Creator. Congratulations. Just know that by you maintaining levels of consciousness and interface those higher levels of consciousness within your physical form, you are co-creating an environment to bring physical form into an entirely elevated state of being. You are creating the mechanism by which the density and rigidity that holds humanity in bonds can be dismissed. And yet the physical experience can be maintained in fluid, harmonious states. What this does is it sets up a vibrational level that allows you to expand your awareness of your heart and your sacred heart. It brings into play your throat chakra, where you are able to speak and to create not only from the status of your personal will, but with the unity and will of Creator. What these centers are designed to do is to take light energy, light frequencies from the higher realms, from Source, God, and begin to use it in such a way as it begins to actually affect the way in which your thought system performs and is engaged. There will no longer be great variance in your experience if you will use this tool. You will not have the emotional highs, the emotional lows. You will resonate in the unified fields in a very real way in your physical body. It will open your physicality to a state of unlimited potential that is not available until this field is used and integrated. As we each grow, there is a sequence to our evolution. Today, the vast majority of people in the world walk around unconscious of being unconscious. They see the world as it is, hoping for more, but settling for what they wake up to each morning. They are unconscious of what is possible. The next step in this evolutionary sequence is the most important and the most challenging. It is becoming consciousness of being unconscious. In other words, becoming aware of the areas where we have been unconscious. Referring to this next evolutionary step, Ascended Master Cthulhu once said, the longest parts of the journey is from the third to the fifth dimension. What makes this next step challenging is that for years we have avoided, denied, and rejected many of the thoughts and emotions we experienced but believed we could not deal with. We have hidden away our feelings, fears, and rejections, hopefully never again to be seen or felt. We have run from uncomfortable experiences and tried to avoid being seen by others. This is the baggage that must now be identified and released so that we may travel upon this journey. And this is our greatest fear. Fear is an internal experience of giving away our personal power to an external world, often unknown and unseen. In this context, fear can be defined as false evidence appearing real. Did you hear that? Repeat that again. Fear can be defined as false evidence appearing real. The beliefs, thoughts, feelings, and concepts that don't feel aligned with who we believe ourselves to be. These thoughts and emotions become problematic not for what we think they are, but because we do not have an understanding or structure to identify, examine, and remove them after the original experience occurs. In tough situations when you're feeling abandoned or betrayed, or as if someone, left you and wasn't really there for you, and eventually you have to, or you don't have to, you want to face the person, you want to give the person may want to talk to you or conversate about the situation, and they want to, get some stuff off their mind and stuff. In preparation for now on, just put this protective spear around you, this protective bubble around you, or a circle of roses around you, of protection, this light, right? And in that moment, manifest a pleasant and harmonious conversation, okay? And it will work magically. It'll make you once you do that, you protect your aura and your space when engaging in any situation that may be toxic for you. Create a nice balanced conversation. You will feel incredibly light and relieved. And it will give you like a real energy boost. Okay, so learn to take time out and prepare yourself for conversations that you're about to have, or situations that may cause tension. Learn to control your emotions and not be easily triggered. You know, if a person says something, learn to step back in that moment and check yourself, like, okay, like, you know, is what I'm saying right now, is it within my boundaries? Is it respectful to myself? Am I respecting myself in this moment? Am I valuing my energy, or am I wasting my precious energy on an argument that is so unnecessary? Because you have to understand how precious your energy is and your attention is, and how much people want that. Understand how valuable your time and attention is, okay? Because that's what the enemy wants. The enemy wants to trigger you very easily. So you have to learn to step back and be in your bubble, in that moment of you being in that bubble, and nothing can penetrate that bubble. Nothing can poke at it, throw at it. It's just you in that bubble, and you are safe. And no one can come in that and interfere. All right. But because even if doubts start to creep up later on or whatever, or in that moment, and you feel heavy and confused about the situation, and you feel uncomfortable in your feelings, and maybe your nervousness starts to spike up in that moment of having a conversation with that particular person or whatever event, okay? Know that time and space does not exist. When you're feeling pressured and nervous, just chill out. Like, get calm within yourself. As fuck everybody else is around you in that moment. Just kind of make sure you're okay. Am I okay? Be aware of your surroundings, and be aware of where you're at, and be aware of the situation, what's going down. And just kind of chill out for this second, okay? Because silence is really power. There's power in silence. So in that moment, you want to just chill out, like, okay. Just take a deep breath. So just anchor yourself firmly in your bubble of light, in your protection. Okay? Get grounded. Stay in there. Know that you're in your space, your light, your surrounding. You have your spirit around you, that light around you. So get grounded in that. Anchor yourself in there, okay? And fill it with love and light, and invite the teachers to stay. Invite God. Let God speak to, invite your angels in. Invite God and let God know. And stay with me, to keep me, and to stay with you, and to keep you and your field clear, so as not to be affected by a person's energy or the situation. And I mean, once you realize and you're aware in that moment of what's going on, I mean, you won't even feel emotional or nervous when chatting with the person. The person will even appear like a different person to you because you're so elevated in that moment. And you're just clear. Your mind will be so clear. You'll be neutral and balanced. And you'll just kind of see that person as a person in pain. You'll see that person is deeply wounded in the root of the problem, right? Because all that anger and jealousy and stuff like that is definitely coming from a lower dimensional state, like lower vibrational energy, a wounded person. And it's just like, you got to get to that point where you understand, not engage, not argue with people, just don't even interact or engage in the drama, the gossip and stuff like that, because you are just on such a higher level, spiritually. And I mean, doing that, you won't even feel other people's feelings. Like, you won't let stuff like that affect you energetically. Not anymore. Not anymore. You just won't even engage with it. It's because you're on your throne. You're not engaging with the peasants and the low vibrational beings. That's what they are in that moment. They're basically peasants, as far as not in a rich state, not in that rich mentality. Okay? Because when you are vibrating high, you are full of abundance. You are prosperous. You are rich. And it doesn't even have to be rich in materialistic things. It's rich spiritually. It's rich in higher dimensions, rich and high vibes. You know, that's another form of richness. You're abundant and spiritually abundant. So, and that's the goal. That's the goal. So now you have a general understanding of what a person of the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensions, how they will react to a situation when it comes to situations like this. And they know not to engage or get themselves involved in a toxic situation like that, where a person tries to trigger you in any sort of way and tries to lower your energy, you know, because you vibrate at such a high energy. Your energy is so powerful, right? So now you know to observe and rearrange and eliminate patterns that you used to probably engage in before in the past, but now that you're in these higher dimensions, these higher, you know, and you're not vibrating at that lower frequency anymore, you know that you have to eliminate patterns that make you uncomfortable. Because of this, you also have the ability to allow many of these uncomfortable patterns to come to the surface and be released. So you have to know to release, to let it go, like just shake it off, you know what I mean? And once you learn to like not let people get to you so easily, I mean, there's no stopping to you. You're unstoppable. You can be a natural leader in any fields, in anything. Like, you can't be rocked. You know what I mean? Anything that is thrown at you, your bounce back is strong. You know, nothing can stop the force. Nothing can stop anything that God has for you. Right? So sometimes, however, you can identify the memory and circumstance, but cannot quite put the pieces together to let go of the situation. Okay, many times what you think happened is correct. However, your conclusion or belief about the situation has missing pieces. Far too often we go to blame or guilt and stop listening to or observing circumstances. The circumstances can be considerably different than our snap conclusion. How many times have you discovered a new truth that makes an old truth incorrect? And with the new truth, the internal fear, tension, and judgment instantly dissolves and your body relaxes. So just learn to eliminate these surfacing patterns. You know what I mean? Things that try to surface out of nowhere. Things that try to come up out of nowhere and sneak some shit in to tell you something. And this will help you better assess yourself to false evidence we assume to be real, and allows us to continue to explore without coming to a conclusion too early. And don't forget, you cannot take this baggage with you on this journey, okay? So once you're aware of what's going on, you're able to identify and release the baggage without experiencing the emotions and confusion that may be attached. Okay, so now that you understand, I just want you to know that a lot of this stuff is just stuck energy that will, of course, try to come back up when you are vibrating at a higher level. So you just have to learn to check it when need be. You know what I mean? Check yourself. Check your emotions and stuff like that. And whenever someone tries to come at you a certain way, try to have more of understanding, because sometimes we can kind of like assume a person is talking about, we can assume how this person is. So just kind of observe and listen. Learn to be able to listen more, to understand where a person is coming from. Understand where their hurt is coming from, their wounds is coming from, okay? And then that way you can kind of be a little bit more discerning on what to say next. So if a person is of a low vibration or coming at you in a certain way, don't react in that moment so quickly. Take a step back in that moment and ask yourself, because even when you being silent in that moment to respond back is power. But ask yourself in that moment, okay, is this person coming at me with good energy or negative energy? Is this person coming from a fear-based mentality, or is this person coming at me with constructive criticism, or this person's trying to give me good advice? So you learning how to like decipher between that, all those, you know what I mean, is how you handle the situation. So in that, with that comes like maturity. So yeah, just learn to master being more calm and more patient, and being more balanced and understanding all sides of the story. It's all about perception and having a higher perspective, a bigger picture. Ask questions from all angles, right? Because, for instance, I had my coworker today. She said her daughter, who's 18, she just graduated high school. She said that she had to take away her daughter's cell phone because she wouldn't clean her room because her room was a mess. Now, in that moment, I listened to her, but my thoughts were, then she said also too that her daughter, she was upset, so she left the house and she was gone for 45 minutes and with no phone, and she said that her daughter's never done that before. So they were like freaking out and, worried about her, and they couldn't call her obviously. But, that her daughter was upset about it because she's like, I can understand where her daughter was coming from because, like I said, that's what the people have different perspectives about everything, right? So in that moment, I was like, you took her phone away at 18. She just graduated, and I didn't think in that moment like it was that deep, right? Or that was just kind of like I felt like it was too controlling of parents. But when I asked my coworkers, how do they feel about an 18-year-old's phone being taken away? The first thing he said was, okay, well, who's paying the phone bill? Who's paying the phone bill? Is she staying under her parents'? Well, obviously she's staying under her parents' roof. But his question was, like, it just goes to show how having people coming together, working together as a collective, you can answer questions, you can figure things out from like a more of a broader perspective. Not just like, for me, I just kind of went like, okay, well, that's kind of controlling. But it just goes to show, like, working as a team, how other people will think a different way. So he was like, well, does she pay her phone bill? And I didn't even think of that. That didn't even come up for me. So I was just like, damn, he's right. Because if parents is paying the phone bill and they asking her ass to clean her damn room because she's being, nasty, which is not high vibrational, But when I was younger, I wasn't clean like that either. I just kind of grew out of that. But, and I still have stuff I have to get organized, but I'm not like I used to be. So, but my mom wouldn't have taken my phone away. But maybe if she did in that moment, I would have cleaned my damn room because I know I need my damn phone, especially this generation, right? So it was kind of like a good thing. But I didn't think about that question because in reality is like, yeah, if they're paying your phone bill, if you're living on their roof still at 18, then yeah, they can take your phone away because, if you want to act like a child, then you're going to be treated like a child. And that's what my coworker said too. And I was like, so even that, and then, because if you want to be a grown-ass woman and say, like he said, if she's paying her own phone bill, then that's different. You can't really be taking your daughter's phone away if she's paying her own phone bill. But I don't think she was. So, yeah, so... But if you want to be grown, you want to have attitude, you want to run and leave the house, you want to rebel and all that stuff under my roof, then you want to be a grown-ass woman at 18, well, then get your ass out the house and then you can be grown. So, and that's what his mindset was, that was mine too. I kind of agree with that, and I started adding to it. But, yeah, you guys, so that's interesting, very interesting. All right.